building hope, building a foundation, building a future, building a dream.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Bruce Geetson along with Ann Harder, and coming up this Sunday evening, Central Texas will be featured in ABC's hit show Extreme Makeover Home Edition.
That's right, Bruce. Back in December, we saw a miracle take place. From a bare lot, in little more than 100 hours, a spectacular home was built.
And that home wasn't just for anyone. It was for Fort Hood Staff Sergeant Patrick Ziegler and his new bride, Jessica. And if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe that they could build a home that fast.
That's right. And what we want to do for the next half hour is take you behind the scenes to meet some of the key people who made this happen, as well as some of our volunteers who gave so much of their time and energy to make this house a reality.
Monday, December 6th, about 4 p.m., a lone worker on a bulldozer begins leveling a lot in Salado's Mill Creek subdivision. Neighbors had heard rumors. Now their street had been turned into a Hollywood build site. Extreme Makeover Home Edition had come to town.
We are so excited. We're retired military. My husband was an officer 21 years. And we're so thrilled that you guys are doing this.
Literally, I just want to be like, where's Ty? Where's Ty? Where's Ty? It's amazing.
Ty is Ty Pennington, the star of this show that began in 2003 and has been one of ABC's top-rated shows ever since. Pennington and 3 of the show's 10 other designer stars come to each build, but Ty is the biggest name, the one who introduces the recipients of the new home every week.
Good morning, Patrick and Jessica!
Leads the volunteer march, and captains Reveal Day, yelling the show's most familiar phrase.
Move that bus! Move that bus!
To reveal the finished home to a deserving family. During production weeks, Extreme Makeover shoots 2 episodes simultaneously. This same week, another home was being built in Augusta, Georgia. Ty shuttles back and forth between the 2 sites to be in the key scenes for each episode. The other designers in Salado, Paul DeMeo, Exhibit, and Leanne Toohey, are dedicated to this build. And that big familiar Extreme Makeover bus that's a key part of Reveal Day, it's a traveling billboard that goes from home site to home site with only the driver on board. But early in the week, it's all about a jam-packed construction schedule. In 10 hours, a concrete foundation will be poured. Just 4 hours after that, volunteers will start framing a house on that slab. ABC chose Texas Tilson Homes to lead the project and supervise the build. Temple Inland donated many of the materials, and the Texas Association of Builders helped get the word out to contractors willing to lend their expertise for free. The team had 106 hours, just 4.5 days, to start and finish a custom 2,800 square foot home.
We were totally excited about getting involved in this project, and you know, you just can't say no to something for a soldier that has been through what he's been through.
It's again back to, you know, giving back to someone who's given to this country, you know, and who's gone through a tremendous tragedy and has taken courage and commitment and the love of his fiancée and has battled back.
But our story really begins with the couple who live in this Extreme Makeover dream house. Life plans for Staff Sergeant Patrick Ziegler and his fiancée Jessica Hansen changed dramatically on November 5th, 2009. He was in the Soldier Readiness Center on Fort Hood when the gunfire started. Hit several times, his head wound was profound and considered unsurvivable. According to one neurosurgeon, textbooks say only 2 to 5% of people survive that type of wound.
Doctors can tell you what the statistics are, but they're always going to have people who prove them wrong. And he's done that so far.
Defying all the odds, Patrick survived multiple brain surgeries and life-threatening pneumonia. Jessica Hansen by his side the whole time. You see, this is her story, too. She put on hold her graduate-level degree in neuropsychology, specializing in combat-related PTSD. Ironically, her research is in traumatic brain injuries. But the incredible love and sacrifice she gladly made to aid her man's recovery make this a love story ABC wanted to tell.
Finding Staff Sergeant Ziegler and And Jessica was just a dream for us because it's an amazing story. We all really consider him to be an American hero in some ways, you know, and their love story is just incredible. I mean, seeing what's happened to them over the past year and how she stood by him during all these trying times, it's you know, it's something that we just knew we'd had to do when we saw it. Somebody's going to make a movie of this one because it's an incredible story. It's an epic story of, you know, a historic event that happened here on our own soil in America, you know, and the loss of many, many lives, but through all that, the power of love that conquered that.
Anyone who's seen the show knows Extreme Makeover specializes in surprises. And what a way to let Patrick and Jessica know about their new home. They were assembled on post for an awards ceremony when Ty Pennington and the gang jumped out of the back of a couple of Bradley fighting vehicles.
Good morning, Patrick and Jessica!
We were very surprised, though, when they jumped out of the back of some Bradleys.
ABC picked the Zieglers from 5 finalists, and apparently it wasn't a hard choice. Tilson Homes had a harder job, only 6 weeks to pull together all the materials and workers. When building a dream continues, just how do you go from this to this in less than a week?
We didn't have to demolish a house, and that's sometimes that's fun for us. I mean, we actually enjoy doing it. We, you know, we have a little bit of fun doing it. Ty enjoys it. We all enjoy it. It gives us something, you know, we're all little boys at heart, so we like to break things up.
It's like one person said, it's like a good old barn raising. You know, the community gets together and builds a house for this deserving couple.
All the materials to build the home were donated, but the other big challenge was finding enough skilled workers to generously provide their skills for free. The response was overwhelming.
We had so many people just jump on board. We want to be a part of it. And it was almost like a wildfire that went through all the contractors for the company that said, you know, you're going, I'm going, you're going, I'm going.
But the planning was crucial. 5 months of work was being condensed into less than 5 days.
Hopefully by 3 a.m. we'll be pouring concrete. By we'll let it cure for 3 hours, and we'll be framing by 6.
That's incredible.
I didn't know concrete could dry that quickly. We saw them pour the slab, I believe it was Tuesday morning at 4 a.m. And within 2 hours, I would say 50 or so framers descended upon the slab and started building a house.
Typically, a house will have a 3-sec mix. We're putting a 5-sec mix on it. We're going to put an accelerant in it, and it gets hard really fast.
A typical house build will have 4 or 5 framers. This one had 60. Normally, there are half a dozen sheetrockers. Here, there were 80. Add electricians, heating and air conditioning installers, and plumbers with no time to waste. Mike Thorne-Leeson was in charge of coordinating all those schedules.
I've got a radio in one ear, I've got a cell phone in another ear, and I've got people talking to me, so I'm multitasking with a lot of people all at the same time.
You keeping notes on your hands? Well, you keeping notes on your hands, right?
Yeah, but this is somebody that I still need to call.
There was one big advantage on this build compared to other Extreme Makeover sites.
One of the things that really helps us is we have a lot of space around us. Oftentimes we're building in an inner city, or we're on a cul-de-sac and we can't get equipment in and out, and this spot is perfect because we can come at the house from all 4 sides, so we can have things simultaneously moving. So that's a really key thing logistically for us.
Designers were watching the progress, making sure workers stuck to the Austin Rancher plans they'd helped create. The house had some special touches specifically for Staff Sergeant Ziegler.
Because he spends some of his time in a wheelchair, we want to make sure this house is fully accessible. One of the reasons why it's a rancher, everything will be on one level. Big open hallways, big open rooms.
You know, we deal with a lot of people that have multiple and various and sundry injuries, and you know, Patrick's certainly are things that we have dealt with before.
Specific design details of the inside of the home are a closely guarded secret, though, until the network broadcast.
Do we talk to the family about? No, they have no choice in the matter whatsoever. We go ahead and you see the pink is really coming out pretty well right now. No, we want to do something that's going to fit into this community.
And don't forget Hollywood. Volunteers not only cut and nailed and moved things and carried away trash, they also had parts to play for TV. Tuesday morning, Ty led the march to the build site. That same morning, there was an opening ceremony with Fort Hood soldiers raising the flag in what would eventually be the front yard of the Zieglers' home. There were plenty of stage shots, often with more than one take, to help tell the story for television. And of course, you'll see all that on Sunday night.
As we said, Extreme Home Makeover specializes in surprises, and they weren't through surprising Patrick and Jessica. The couple had been busy planning on a July 9th, 2011 wedding in her hometown in Minnesota. But ABC had another idea.
We announced that we're building the home for them, so we sent them on vacation while we build the home, and they're out in Las Vegas on vacation. So Staff Sergeant Ziegler and his wife were on vacation, and they were at a show in Las Vegas with 2,000 other people, and we surprised them by coming out and saying, guess what, not only are we building you a home this week, we're gonna throw you a wedding.
Wow.
So they were just so touched by that, and we brought in their groomsmen and bridesmaids and to surprise them. And so this week we're not only building a home, we're gonna throw a wedding.
We were very, very excited, but there's nothing like someone telling you you're getting married in 4 days.
Back to the build site, some things took longer than expected, like installing the metal roof. Heaters were brought in to quickly dry the texture on the walls so painters could get an early start. Masons needed a couple of days to finish the stonework on the exterior, but by Friday, just 3 days after pouring the foundation, they were down to details. Filling in the yard, building the garage door, installing a sprinkler system. Even on reveal day, as the bus pulled away and the Zieglers walked in the front door of their new home, painters were going out the back door after applying some finishing touches.
There were some points that I couldn't believe that we were doing all this at one time. When we had the mechanical roughs all in there at the same time, so we had the AC guys and the electrician all in the attic, and then the plumbers were roughing the plumbing, and it was just, I bet there were 150 people in the house at one time.
Inside the house?
In the house, and they were just going everywhere. And I'm just like, is this gonna really happen?
When we come back, John Coco talks with the most invaluable part of building this dream, you, Central Texas volunteers.
You met Ty?
Yes, I did.
Yes,
I have.
What was that like?
He's a pretty neat guy.
Yeah.
He's a lot shorter in person than he looks on television.
There is no doubt that after just 72 hours work, this is an amazing progress.
What may have been just as amazing was the generosity and hard work of more than 1,000 volunteers from across Central Texas.
As News Channel 25's John Coco shows you, this job was a group effort that went around the clock.
That's what the hard work of the Extreme Home Makeover volunteers sounds like.
Mike, could you do this without volunteers?
Absolutely not. Every one of these blue shirts behind me that you see who are coming out here who don't even know the family, who are donating their time and effort and skills to build this house for them.
The army of blue shirts came from all walks of life. They were teachers.
I teach 4th grade here at Salado Intermediate School, and so several of the teachers decided to get subs today and come up here and work.
There were students.
It's just an all-nighter I've never experienced. Usually I'm up all night studying for a test, but this is a new kind of all-nighter to pull.
Even parents and kids.
I live here in Salado, and I just want to help out. This is going to be part of our community now.
A soldier that was injured in the Fort Hood shooting.
In uniform and all, fellow soldiers also came out to lend a hand in building a home for one of their own.
He needs a house, and we're going to give him a house.
While a good deal of the progress was made during the day, it didn't stop when the sun went down.
Now it's close to 2 o'clock in the morning and about 30 degrees, but that's not stopping any of these workers from getting the job done.
We shovel, we've been moving lumber everywhere, we've been moving sheetrock, bags of sheetrock, sweeping the house, everything they tell us to, just moving things and helping out.
Amidst the hustle of all the workers day and night, there was a joy felt throughout the entire work site.
I've worked the volunteer tent and all over, and just to see regular folks coming up saying, when I read about it, I'm a vet, I had to come help them. Ladies coming up wanting to be a part of it at 3 o'clock in the morning, getting off shift work and coming up here to volunteer. It's Christmas time and folks are acting like it. It's really amazing.
It was a team effort, including workers who served workers. Dozens of local restaurants and volunteers preparing meals nonstop throughout the tireless workday. And there were celebrity volunteers out there too.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dane Cook!
As part of the ABC program, comedian Dane Cook performed a free show for the soldiers and their families on Fort Hood.
I tell you, I'll never forget the moment looking down and seeing him laughing with Jessica. I'll never forget it.
And at the show, Operation Finally Home announced it was creating a fund to help the victims of the Fort Hood shooting. CVS kicked off the fund with a $25,000 donation. Workers may have hammered the nails and carried the loads, but without any of the supplies and services, the house couldn't have been built. It was a well-oiled machine fueled by all those blue shirts.
It's the kindness of people that really, through the power of giving, we pull this off.
When we come back, Reveal Day in Salado.
The reason for this metal roof, tell us about that.
Looks.
But it's more energy efficient, isn't it?
No.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
Sorry.
Well, we won't use that. No, I thought that was always been my impression was that
it's
they were.
to keep the rain out.
Yeah. The phrase everyone was itching to say when the Zieglers could at last see their new home. But this crowd of thousands learned a lesson about show business. The producer needs a perfect take, and they got to practice and practice for just the right one. Nonetheless, it was a patient crowd, and their patience was rewarded when the show's stars, designers Polly, Exhibit, Leanne Toohey, and the show's host, Ty Pennington, strolled up. As for the Zieglers, it had already been a big day. First, their dream wedding on post, and then a stylish ride to their new home. And what a homecoming they had. At long last, Ty gave that famous signal. And it moved. Then the Zieglers could see the house that love built.
Oh, he was in amazement. He just total disbelief.
Captain Adrian Vasquez helped build this home for his fellow soldier and had a good view of Ziegler's reaction.
He stared at the house and he said, "Wow," and his mouth, stayed open. And his wife came up and said, "Thank you very much."
It had been an amazing week, as Dan Walrath of Operation Coming Home pointed out.
All the builders and volunteers, the Army, just everybody coming together for this young couple. And it's a love story, it's an amazing story, and it's just been a fantastic week.
Walrath played an important role in connecting ABC with the Zieglers so they could get this home. And he's hoping to do the same thing for thousands of injured soldiers.
There's 40,000 of them that's returned with these injuries, and we truly believe if we can get the American people behind us, we can build 40,000 homes. We really can, but it just takes everyone just to give a little bit. If everybody just gives a little bit, we can do this. We really can.
So many people gave so much for this home to become a reality, no detail was overlooked. Colleen's Ashley Furniture donated thousands of dollars worth of beautiful furnishings, rugs, and accessories, and they were just one of many who wanted to help. Every detail was taken care of, including the couple's clothes. Carrie Farrell of Certified Restoration Dry Cleaning Network says every piece of clothing the Zieglers owned was professionally cleaned.
We cleaned the textiles, and then we brought them back into the home. We packed them back yesterday. We went into the closet, got to organize all the clothes, so now they've got their own clothes when they come back.
It was the company's 100th episode of Extreme Makeover to do the textile cleaning. There were so many more. You can go to the Texas Association of Builders website and see 130 businesses, most of them local, which gave and gave and gave so many services and gifts to make the Zieglers feel at home.
Coming up, a wedding and even more surprises. Who played at the reception? We heard everything from Garth Brooks to the rumors were flying.
I think you're going to have to tune into the episode.
Okay.
I heard Beyonce, but...
Well, Sunday had been a big day for the Zieglers, a wedding, a new home, and a reception all packed into 24 hours. But the surprises weren't over. The next day, there was one more round of gift giving. Tilson Homes presented Patrick and Jessica a maintenance-free lifetime warranty for their home. They also got free utilities, a Thomas Kincaid painting. And how about this reaction from Patrick when Texas Roadhouse Restaurant in Killeen promised them free meals for life?
It was the end of an incredible week, and it was hard to tell who benefited the most.
We're so excited to be part of Salado and this neighborhood, and we truly do feel like we're home. So thank you is so insufficient, and we are just so happy and so excited to start our future together.
I can imagine the Zieglers are trying to figure out how they can appropriately thank everybody for this.
Yeah. Well, our feeling is they don't need to, because these guys, you know, they serve. It's a volunteer army. They serve because they love the country.
I, for one, can tell you that I've taken our soldiers for granted, and this has been an eye-opening experience for me.
I think this is kind of cool. So it's a lot of work, but I think it's so worth it.
Would you do it again tomorrow?
Yes, I would.
Or next week?
I sure would.
We just really want to thank, everyone here in, Texas for helping us out. It's, it's incredible that we're here, and we think this is a special episode. We got something really special.
And a lot of the uncertainty was, where are we going to live? What are we going to do? Is he going to be able to stay in the Army? Is he going to be okay? And now, thanks to our community, a lot of that uncertainty has turned into security and happiness and warmth. So now the good thing about the future is that we get to enjoy it one day at a time.
Bruce, this has been an amazing thing to see happen, but it could not have happened without the generosity of local volunteers, of corporations who joined together. Now, this was a Hollywood project, but they all say it could not have happened without you.
And the producers, as well as the Zieglers, wanted to thank all of you. They say, as a Texan would say, you did good having this project come to fruition.
That's right. Now, there are a lot of surprises along the way we have not shown you yet. You will see those right here on Sunday night at 7 o'clock.
I think it promises to be one of the most heartwarming and emotional episodes they've ever had on this show. We hope you'll join us. In Salado, I'm Bruce Geetson along with Ann Harder. Have a great evening.